Well, good evening, tabletop baseball fans. This is Tenacious Earl, and Tabletop Earl got a couple games in earlier, so I figured let's try to get another game in here this this evening in the Phillies replay. I think this will this game here will I think this will provide a nice demarcation line where maybe we can take a short break from it and move back to the TBL. So we will see here. See how I feel. That's kind of the way I'm leaning at the moment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to stay that way. I may change my mind. I should have a change of heart. I've been known to do that on occasion. So it's going to be the Giants and the Phillies. The Phillies have won the first two games of this series against San Francisco. Try to sweep here. Day game, getaway game for the Giants, as well as the Phillies. They will embark on a road trip after this. I haven't taken a look at their schedule to see who would be next. I suppose I could do that right now. It wouldn't take too long. Let's see. Now maybe the Phillies had the day off. No, they don't. But they're going out to Arizona, so they're going to go on a bit of a West Coast swing here after this. So this is probably a good place to just sort of wrap it up once this game is over. See if the Phillies can get on this winning streak here. Of course, if they stay on a winning streak, it's going to be kind of difficult to decide to shelf it for a bit, but also going kind of, that going out on top thing is not necessarily a bad thing. So, not that we're going out, but just taking a break, because I like to try and keep things, fresh, and sometimes people get sick of seeing the same, especially these Phillies, the same team over and over again. So it's May, it's a day game, we're going to roll it. 1 to 9 would be good conditions. And it's a 7, so that's going to be good. 11 and 8 for the singles, and 17s for the home runs. So the ball is going to cook today. Hi, Larry. You have pizza in the oven. Okay, well... Larry is saying, don't mess around here, Earl. Let's get this show on the road. Hi, Tyler. Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, I have this Tenacious League that Larry wants me to get this game done, so maybe I'll talk about it after the game. But it's a completely different project, but it's also super advanced strat, so it's similar. So, Hamill's on the mound for the Phillies. The Giants have Tim Lincecum. And so for the Giants, in their lineup, it'll be Velez at second, Burris at shortstop. A bit of a down lineup here. Like a few guys are getting the day off. Wynn in right, Rowan in center, Castillo third base, Aurelia first, Ortmeyer in left, Holm. Is that what that is? Holm? Yeah, Steve Holm behind the plate, and Lincecum pitching against the lefty. So that's the reason why you've got guys like, well, Benji Molina gets the day off because he's a catcher, and they're giving him the third, the day game after the night game. But you get Ortmeyer. I assume he's a righty. I mean, it was pretty much they had a right-handed bench in the previous game. So here we go, Velez against Hamills, and we're on the way, and it's going to be a ground ball to Howard, and Howard makes no bones about that one. Hi there, Spicer. Here is Emmanuel Burris. And he will potentially get a single out of this one, 1 to 8. And it is an 8. So that will be a single for Burris. He has liked the Citizens Bank Park atmosphere. I think in the first game of the series, he might have went 2 for 2. Let's see. Yeah, the pinch hitter. Yeah, he went 2 for 2 with a walk. So, Hamels a 0 and Ruiz behind the plate at -1. So Burris would be 1-14 on the steal. He's going to try to steal here. Yeah, let's try to have him get a lead. Need a 3, 4, 5, or 6, and it's a 7, so he does not get the good lead. And because they're holding him on, that's going to make him a 1-8 chance. Maybe with 2 outs we'll send him. We'll see. Randy Wynn. And 3-6 is going to be trouble for Hamels. 1-3 double. It's going to be a single. Burris will advance to third. And so, first and third, 1 out. It's going to be Aaron Rowand at the plate now. Wynn, let's have Wynn try to get a lead here. He needed a 2, or he didn't need a 2, he needed a 6, and he got a 2. So, no good lead. No sense in getting them the second out unless it was like a sure bet. So here's Rowand. 110. And that's a ground ball to second. They're playing back, and that's going to be it for this inning. Is Utley throws to Bruntlett. And then over to Howard at first for the out, and that will do it for the Giants. A big ground ball induced there by Cole Hamels, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. Phillies coming to bat. Pretty normal strength lineup here, save for not having, hi Derek, not having Jimmy Rollins. He's still out injured. So this is pretty much, against a righty, a good, pretty good lineup. Victorino center, Bruntlett short, Utley second base, Howard first, Burrell left, Jenkins right, Feliz at third base, Ruiz catching, and Hamels pitching. You could have Dobbs, but Dobbs isn't as good of a glove at third, but he would be better against the righty. Lincecum in this on this card is 2.62 ERA, 18-5. No decision for him in this game as well, by the way, if you were wondering. Phillies win 6-5 in this game in real life on a 9th inning run that they get. And Lincecum sends a message right off the bat. Hit by pitch. Wow, that's probably not the guy you want to put on base. Lincecum not very good at holding runners either, and Holm not a very good arm. Phillies will have a +5. What did I say? -1 for the Giants. So, you know what Victorino is going to be doing here. He's going to be trying to get a good lead, and even if he doesn't, he'll try stealing. Probably. Needs a 2, and he gets it. So that'll be 18 + 5, 23, -2. So I think the most you can get is 1-19. So unless he gets a 20, he will take second. So Bruntlett at the plate with Victorino at second, and a 6-12 against a righty, and he draws a walk. First and second, nobody out. Here's Chase Utley. And a 3-12 ballpark home run. Long drive. Watch this, baby. Out of here. 3-run home run for Chase Utley. The ballpark home run chance, and he takes Lincecum out of here. 1-17. This ball is flying out here today, and no bones about it. And they jump out to a 3-0 lead before the chalk is even settled on the baseline here. Ryan Howard against a lefty for 5. And, Lincecum, how's he feeling today? Boy, that's a double. I think he's looking forward to the ride back to California. He might have a prescription he needs filled for something. I don't know. Maybe a little. I don't know. I don't know what he might have run out of one of his medications. Double for Howard. Here comes Pat Burrell. 210. Another ballpark chance. Watch this, baby. Oh, and it's still out of here because it's the fence is too tall. Home run for Pat Burrell. Oh my word. Lincecum, he's lacking in the whatever I don't know. There's just something not right about him. He doesn't seem to be. Yeah, he doesn't have his good stuff, right? Yeah, well, I don't know is the good stuff that most pitchers talk about not having is going to be the good stuff that Lincecum talks. So he's automatically going to have the singles here with the dots. So, let's see. Do the Giants have a long reliever? Well, it's going to be Hennessy. So they're just thinking about it here. Here's Jeff Jenkins. Can he get an out here against the lefty? 5-5 strikes him out. I know what he's talking about, Tyler. I'm trying to dance around the subject, dude. That's the whole point. 2-8. Ground ball to second. And Velez makes the play, and here is... That's okay. Trying to have a little fun. Ruiz. Against a righty, 5-8. Ground ball to second. This will be Velez 4E22. Not the greatest of... oh, boy, you gotta... Boy, did you see the way that knocked that? It knocked it right to the 2. That's going to be a hit. A single. And just a single, though. But that's going to turn the lineup over, and so 9 batters coming to the plate. Hit around. 5-0 Phillies already, and it is time for Hamels at the plate. And a 6-8. He's batting from the left. 6-8, ground ball to second base, and that will do it. But the first inning, 9 come up, 5 cross, and Lincecum is lacking his good stuff today. Whatever good stuff. He's lacking multiple facets of good stuff today. Probably the reason he doesn't have his good stuff is that he doesn't have his good stuff. All right, well, you never know. Cole Hamels, he is prone to one of these kind of blow-ups as well, but that's a ground ball to third. Maybe he's due for a good game. Feliz throws to first for the out. Rich Aurelia against a righty, 4-7 struck him out. 2 down. Giants got 2 hits in the first inning, and it seems to have energized these Phillies since he was unable to do it, and they're just playing out of their gourds at the moment. 5-8. 1-3 would be a triple. It's a 1, believe it or not. Triple for Ortmeyer. No triples in real life for Ortmeyer, but we will stick with it. And here's home. And I have my latest trade for probably Clayton Kershaw and Madison Bumgarner for 4 lackeys from somebody in this NL-only league. I needed some laughing material here. So runner at third, 2 down. 4-2 against a righty. Walks him. It's going to bring up Lincecum. And... you know what? I think oh man, I flipped these. Well, fortunately for me, Hamels went off of the pitcher card when he came up because I put the number. Hamels is. Or wait, no, I was right. Lincecum's number 2. Hamels number 3. I was right before. So Lincecum comes up pitcher's card number 2 with 2 on and 2 outs. Oh, and he gets. That's a strikeout. That was lucky. I thought it was going to flip to a pitcher's card number, and that could have... that's where you get into trouble. And something that can be frustrating about this game is you seem to get, you're at the beck and beck and call or whatever of that white die, and if the pitcher's at the plate and it goes to that pitcher card, you just never know. So, still 5-0 Phillies, bottom of the second, Victorino. Batting from the left side, struck him out. Lincecum finally settling down. He must have he got a hit of a different kind after that last at bat. 1-11, and that's a single for Bruntlett. So again, Lincecum. That's 5-run lead. They're just going to go straight up here with Utley against the left-hander 6-2. It's a ballpark correction roll, 1-9 single, and that's what it will be, a 3. So, first and second, 1 out, Ryan Howard. You already have Utley and Burrell with a home run. Can Howard get one here? And 2 on the D20 means we check for passed ball, but Holm has a 0 passed ball rating, so we will re-roll Howard. 2-10. Ground ball to second base, that's going to end the inning. 4-6-3. Twin killing. 5-0 Phillies. All of a sudden it got quiet. I think because the Phillies have essentially we'll see what the Giants do here. Most teams, when they get behind like this with it's a 4-7 against a righty, struck him out. They got a long trip wherever they're going, and you would think that maybe the Giants would be ready to pack it in here. Manuel Burris 1 for 1. Can he get another hit? Nah, that's going to be a strikeout as well. 4-7, 2 in a row. Randy Wynn, let's shake him up a little better here. 5-7 this time. And again, against a righty, fly ball to center. 1-2-3 for Hamels. Going to try to book it through the rest of this game if I can. Lincecum seems to have steadied the ship a bit, but you got these dot rolls on his card that could, affect things. It's going to be Pat Burrell leading off against a righty. 5-6, struck him out, gets between the 2 dots. Jeff Jenkins, 1 out. Ground ball to short, and Burris throws to first, and Aurelia grabs it. 2 down, Pedro Feliz. Against a righty, 6-7, a ground ball to short again. Burris showing off his arm, waits till the very last moment to throw over. It's like he's making an audition for the Phillies here. He's had such a nice run of it here in Philly. And he eventually does play for the Phillies, I believe. But okay, top of the 4th. Rowan against Hamels. He's grounded into a double play with runners at first and third in the first. 3-3, and that'll be a ballpark single chance. Is it going to sneak through? What do we got here for a righty? 1-8 today? Is that right? Yes, 1-8. And he gets it. Got some low rolls here so far. So, leadoff runner for the Giants. Here is Castillo with a runner at first. 3-6. Ground ball to second base. Rowan will be able to advance. The only play for Utley is to go to Howard with it, and he gets it in time. First out. Runner in scoring position, Rich Aurelia. And a 3-5, and that's going to bring home a run. He's going to get a base knock. Rowan knew it right on contact. He's going to get all the way home, and it'll be 5-1. With Aurelia still at first. Here's Ortmeyer. And against a righty, 4-8. Struck him out. So with 2 outs, it'll be Holm. And against a righty, 6-6, and a tall pop-up that Bruntlett gets underneath. And after waiting for it, he will grab it, and 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. Bottom of the 4th, it's going to be Ruiz, then Hamels, then Victorino. Lincecum still going with it here. Pop out to Burris, and he makes the play. It's going to be Hamels now. Card upside down with 1 out. And he swings and misses for Lincecum's 4th strikeout on the day. And now with 2 outs, it'll be the flying Hawaiian. And he's hit by another pitch, and he is not happy about that. Throws his bat down, points a finger at Lincecum. Lincecum looks like he's halfway to Mars. You know, he just kind of like fluffs his hair a little bit and laughs and asks if Shane has any pineapple he could munch on or something, you know. But Bruntlett, so Victorino, now he's mad. He's like, I don't care if we have a 4-run lead. I'm going to try to I'm going to steal regardless of what happens here. And so he doesn't get the lead. It's +5. And they're holding him. So a 1 to 15 chance. He's going. He's like, screw this. And he makes it. And he tells Lincecum to go fill the mystery machine up with gas or something. So here comes Bruntlett with 2 outs. And that's going to be a ground ball that Castillo gets on 2 hops, takes his time, makes his play, and that will be it. So Lincecum, if he does it again, I mean, Victorino, he's not exactly... Number 1, he's not really built to fight. Number 2, Lincecum, if he tried to throw a punch right now, I think he'd fall on his tail. So, let's see. I think they're gonna let Lincecum hit here. I mean, still early, and as much as they could probably, that's a strikeout. They could probably use. They might be able to use an extra guy at the plate and not have to use a pitcher. That's another strikeout for Hamels. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by my count. And that's Emmanuel Burris now with 2 outs. And 3-7. And that's a ground ball to short, Bruntlett. No problems there. Through 4.5. Game is official. 5-1 Phillies. And it's going to be 3-4-5 coming up here. Lincecum back out again. Remember, he doesn't have his stuff today, but we're trying to give him a shot to hang in there. 4-7 against a lefty, and he draws a walk. Ryan Howard with Utley at first. Again, that +5. I think Utley's going to try to get a lead here. Doesn't get it. So they're still holding him on. Yeah, that's kind of the way it looked, I think, when, you know, that's the way it sounded to Shane when it came out. It was sort of, you know, you forgot the, hey, man. And against the lefty, 5-6 strikes him out. So with 1 out, pat the bat. 2-9 struck him out. Way out, dude. Far out, man. And against the lefty, 6-7. Another strikeout, boy. It kicked in there. He's like, can I buy you? I don't know. I'm trying to find a cannabis reference here. we're getting into all this drug terminology that I shouldn't be. Knowing that there's a minor here I probably shouldn't be talking about. So, all right. If Lincecum comes up again, he's definitely coming out. There you go. There you go. You got her down now. 2-6 a walk. So, yeah. Last night was something else. Aaron Rowan. So with win at first. Tell you what, he's going to try to get a lead here. And it's going to be a potential balk. Does not get the good lead. No balk for Hamels, no balk rating, but he does not get the good lead. Now we re-roll everything for Rowan. Wanted to try maybe steal with win because the first time Rowan was up with a runner at first, he grounded into the double play. So against a righty, ground ball to short. Since Win is being held on, and Rowan is a righty, it's the second baseman that is responsible for the runner to go to second. So the ground ball to short means we stick with Bruntlet's 3E21 rating. 3 and a 10. I think that might be a get the lead runner. 3 and 10. Yeah, G2. And then 13 on the E21. And he makes the play at second, but they're unable to get Rowan, who's a little too fast. So 1 out, Jose Castillo. 0 for 2, 2 ground outs against a righty, 6-6. And that's a big pop-up that Bruntlet calls everybody off. And so let's see, with Rowan, with 2 outs, -1. They're not going to hold him on. He'll try to get a good lead here with 2 outs, see if he can advance. But it's a 1. Uh-oh. There you go. There's that 5% chance of garbage. So that's garbage for the Giants. So now you've got the pickoff roll. And now you got to go for Rowan for the pickoff. 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 20, he's picked off. And he got picked off 1 to 3. Yeah, don't think that that's all we do here. I mean, we're mostly here about baseball, and in theory, that the drug names were only about things that are about the drug name was only about something that is almost not even considered a drug anymore. So Pedro Feliz, bottom of the 6th. 5-1 Phillies. Lincecum still out there, 3-8. And that's a ground ball to his counterpart at third, Castillo, and a good throw across. Gets Feliz for the first out. Carlos Ruiz against a righty, 5-7, and he is. Oh, that's a base hit. There's your single 2-star on the 5-7 off a righty. Where Tribe is, yeah, it might be on the reservation. No, I don't know. He's probably kicking around here somewhere. If not tonight, or right now, he might be on a little later tonight. So, they're getting Brad Hennessy up. Now that Lincecum is starting to... Actually, they're going to sit Hennessy. He's a long reliever. They don't really need the long reliever at this point. Instead, they're going to get Merck and Valdez up, as well as, Tashner's gone 2 games in a row, although he hasn't pitched a ton. They're going to get Tashner up as well. I'm going to give them a shot here. So, anyway, Lincecum will face Hamels. Hamels still has some arm left in him here. He's going to try bunting. Hamels, a a B bunter, so he'll be a C bunter because they're expecting it with the infield in. And a 6. C6, I think that will get the runner over. Oh no, that's a defense. 6 is defense. So what that means is that you subtract 4 from the speed. And I think in this case with Ruiz, which is he's an 11, that makes him a 7. And then you take the fielder's arm, and the fielder was the pitcher, who is Lincecum. But he's a 5. Ooh boy. So here you have, I think you take the second out. Going to be a sack. 1-4. We're going to let the runner move up. And Lincecum will go to Victorino here. So they will they won't bring in Valdez yet. So with 2 outs, runner at second. They'd rather take the out here and try to get out of this inning with Victorino, see if they can get him out, which he's been hit twice. So, I mean, now would not be a bad time to for Lincecum to plunk him again. And a 5-5, he's batting from the left side. That is a strikeout. And going after the runner at first, or the batter going down to first, was the right move. I don't care what you say. You got all sorts of problems if you don't get that runner out at second. All right, so we're going to the 7th inning. Hamill's still in there. The Phillies are gonna toss around getting up some help here in the bullpen. Gonna be Chad Durbin, just in case. Got the bottom of the order, so it's gonna be. Obviously, 4th coming up here is Lincecum. He will not bat this time around. So against Hamels, it'll be Ortmeyer. And a 1-9. Oh, and he gets into it. It's going to go into the gap to the wall, and Ortmeyer will slide. Wait, what do you mean? That's not right. That's Aurelia. What happened? 1-9. It's not Ortmeyer. Aurelia, too bad. Sorry, Giants fans. That's a shortstop. I don't know how I turned those cards over, but that's Aurelia. He did not come up to bat. Oh, you know why? It's because he was picked off, and then I moved the cards. He was at bat when Rowan was picked off, so that's why I got messed up. All right, now Ortmeyer. Sorry, Dan. Your moment in the sun, although you had a triple earlier. 1-9. Oh! Somehow we roll a 1-9 again after all that shaking. So a double. It's going to bring up home. Sweet home, Alabama. 4-8. Getting my chat window back up here. Against a righty, 4-8 strikes him out. Against a Brew Crew. So it's going to be, 2 outs, runner at second, and they are going to have, it's going to be Ray Durham come in and pinch hit here. Speaking of which, you may not have known this, but Ray Durham, later in this very season, gets traded to the Brew Crew. So how's that for applicability, or whatever you want to call it? Coincidence? Coincidence? I think not. So Ray Durham, runner at second. Can he drive home the second run here for the Giants and draw them a little closer? And it's a 2-7, and that's going to be a fly ball to center, and that will be caught to end the inning. Club level seats, for crying out loud. You might as well just bring a recliner to the game or something, you know? I mean, come on. A little too cushy for us baseball fans. We need the old hardwood bleachers put your splinters in your tail end and make you yelp whenever you sit down for the next week. All right, so you got Bruntlett, Utley, and Howard. They're going to go with Merkin Valdez. This guy, he's really patriotic for this country. He's a great American, if you know what I mean. I don't think you do. You probably will not appreciate that pun. That's one of the worst puns I've ever made, probably in my life. But when in Rome, you know. So, Eric Bruntlett to face Merkin Valdez. They're going to keep Tashner up just in case Merkin can't do it right. Yeah, 4-6 against a righty. Well, 1 to 11 is a double. I'll show you here. These are the computer-generated cards for the uncarded players. For anybody who hasn't seen them yet, 1 to 11 a double. It's a 13, so that'll be a fly ball. And for Bruntlett, we will say it's to left field. So it'll bring up Chase Utley. With nobody on base, they're going to let Valdez face him against a lefty 5-10. And he draws a walk. And the manager is going to go back out to the mound. And he's going to let Tashner come in here. So, to match up to old Ryan Howard. Now, of course, you got Burrell coming up, but then you got Jenkins. So, that's the reason why. And Tashner's not good at holding. So, Utley being on base, he'll try to get a lead here. They'd like to get another run if possible, but a 9 is not going to get the lead. So, here's Howard against the lefty. And that is a 2 on the D20. So, with a 3, that means we look to balk, and Tashner has a 0 balk rating, so we re-roll. And a 3-10 is a strikeout. Just the result that the Giants were hoping for. And that brings up Pat Burrell. Now, Pat, he might do some damage here, so we'll see. Against a righty, 5-8. And he walks him. That brings up Jeff Jenkins, so Utley to second. And it's going to bring up Jeff Jenkins, another lefty-lefty matchup. And the Phillies looking to possibly break this one open. They're going to go to their bench and bring in Jason Worth. And the Giants are going to match up to that. So it's going to be Worth pinch hitting in the 7th, and they're going to bring in Tyler Walker to match up to him. So Tashner and let's see. Since the pitcher spot was the last one to be out in the top of the 7th, there's no reason to need to do any kind of switcheroony here. So, okay. Tyler Walker coming in to face Jason Worth. Phillies like that matchup. Of course, they wouldn't have brought in Walker if Jenkins had stayed in, so they'll take Worth versus Walker over Jenkins versus the lefty. So here we go, 2 outs. And a 3-6. And another walk. And it's going to load the bases for Pedro Feliz. And now the Phillies, they could make another move here. But they're going to leave Feliz in because they like his defense over Dobbs. So So here we go. Pedro Feliz, bases loaded. They're playing the infield back with 2 outs. No reason to bring them in. And that is a 1-11. And that's a foul out, tall foul out that will be caught by the third baseman Castillo, and Walker gets out of that. So 3 walks lead to a 0, and the Phillies will go to... They're actually going to go with Ryan Madsen in the 8th here. They could still go with Hamels in theory, but they're gonna bring in. They are gonna bring in a relief pitcher here. So Madsen will. Hamels goes 7 innings. So it'll be Velez. He will have to lead off. He is batting from the left, though, so switch hitter. And a 2-9. Uh-oh. Madsen could automatically give up a home run here. It's going to be a triple at least. 1-4 would be a home run. It will be a triple to lead off, and that is not what the Phillies had in mind. Emmanuel Burris. Try to drive him home here. They're playing back. They'll concede a run to get an out here. Against batting from the left, 4-9. 1-5. Now the weak hitter, so there's no home run here. 1-5 would be a single 2-star. Otherwise, it'll be a fly ball to right B, and the run will score either way. It's an 18. So that'll be a sac fly. And what did I say it was? Right field. Worth doesn't have a shot to get him. And I forgot to change the... but it's 5-2. I didn't switch out the... and because he's going to play right field here. And I need to get his ratings down so I don't... mess them up. I think it's a 2E3. 2 minus 2E3. Yes. Okay. And that brings up Randy Wynn. 1 away. 1 run in. 5-2. I moved Madsen's card out of the way. And that's a 4-7. Batting from the left side. Strikes him out. So with 2 outs, Aaron Rowand. And a 2-8. And he strikes him out. 2 strikeouts in a row for Madsen. And we're through 7.5. 3 outs left for the Giants. 5-2. And it's going to be a save situation. The Phillies will get... Let's see. Lidge went 1 1/3. They got righties coming up. I got to decide what we're going to do here because Lidge, he pitched. He pitched 1 1/3 the night before. I think he's still available for an inning. But I think we're going to play it safe. We're going to... I'm going to go with Tom Gordon to start the inning. So we're going to get him ready. I know he's a joke. He's been in trouble. But he does have a 1 rating, so we can get the first out without the hits affecting his those dots. So The only other thing I could do is go, there's a bunch of other guys that are rated for it, but if I wish I would have considered that before. Madsen, well, Madsen's also a 0, so really they're all 0s. Hi Phil, hi Kyle. So this will be excellent study in why you should pay attention. So I really feel like Lidge, at most he can pitch an inning, but really should only go probably 2/3 of an inning, since he pitched 1 1/3 last night, 4-out save. So anyway, let's get moving here. They're going to stick with Tyler Walker. He came in the 7th. Faced 2 batters. He's going to see if he can get through this inning. Carlos Ruiz. And then a pinch hitter against a righty, 4-5. And that's a ground ball to short. And the shortstop, Burris, is a 4E23. And a 2 is going to be a single. And let's see, on the E23 is, I think a 12 probably won't be a problem, but let's double check. Nope. That's a single for Ruiz, and it's going to bring up the pitcher spot, which they will go with Greg Dobbs here. So here's Dobbs with Ruiz at first. Nobody out. Against the lefty, 6-6, and he strikes him out. So 1 out. Of course, if he gets... Well, he needs 2 more. Sorry, my bad on that. Shane Victorino. Batting from the left side, 5-8, strikes him out. 2 outs. And here's Eric Bruntlett. And a 4-6 against a righty, and another strikeout ends the inning. So Walker comes through, and the Phillies are going to have to go. They're going to go with Tom Gordon here, which could be trouble. We'll just have to see how it goes. All right, so Gordon will face Castillo, Aurelia, and Ortmeyer, although Ortmeyer will probably give way to Fred Lewis. And you could have Benji Molina pinch hit for home potentially down the road here. So Jose Castillo against Gordon. So Gordon he's a 1, which means he gets 1 out before his dots turn to singles. He gets 1 out, and then after that, any single or hit, or single, excuse me. Let me say it again. After that, any hit or walk will automatically then turn the dots to single 2 stars. So Jose Castillo against Gordon. And a 4-7 against a righty, and that's a walk. So that will not change it over yet. Phillies are going to get Lidge up. Trying to be nice to get 3 outs out of him here, but Aurelia. And it's a 2-6, and that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to be a double play ball. Bruntlett to Utley to Howard, and 2 outs, and Gordon is going to see his way out of this. They're going to pinch hit for Ortmeyer with Fred Lewis here. They're down 5-2, top of the 9th. And the primary difference between basic and advanced is, I would say, there's no lefty-righty in basic. There's a lot of differences, but that's probably the one that will stand out most. once you move to advanced, you're going to have lefty-righty, like you see here. The basic cards are like this. So, and which side of the plate they're on doesn't really matter. So Fred Lewis, 2 outs, and a hit now, a hit or walk will make those dots into singles. So 2-7, and that is a single. And so now we're in no man's land for Gordon. He's got very little, and they're going to go with, I think you can do that probably, Kyle. It's not going to be statistically as accurate, but I don't think anybody would ever say don't do that. You're eventually going to, you're probably going to want to, I would say start with basic. That way you learn all the roles, and you learn the methodology, and then you can incorporate the rest. Molina now, pinch hitting for home, and the tying run is on deck. So, you know what? Now that I think about it, with a 3-run lead, that's something that was in a group. You don't even need to use the closer. You don't need to use the closer rating until you have the tying run on deck or at bat. So I've been doing this a little bit wrong, but it's okay. We'll stick with it. Benji Molina with 2 outs, runner at first. They're not going to hold on Lewis, so he automatically gets it. They're just going to let him take it, defensive indifference. And so here's Molina, 2 outs, and a 5-11 against a righty. Ballpark single check. For a righty, it's 1-8. And it gets in there. 1 base advance, and the tying run's going to come to the plate, and Phillies, they are going to have to go to Lidge now. Gordon gets 2/3 of an inning. And, yeah, the Giants are going to need another pinch hitter. It's going to be, it's going to have to be John Bowker, right? You're going to go lefty versus righty. So, and I'm running out of room here. So, all I'm saying in this is they're not going to play on him, so he automatically gets the good lead. Larry says that indifference annoys him. Well, I don't know. I guess okay, so here, I could just roll this, and as long as it's not I'm not going to do it, but man, that is wrong, man. That is so wrong. I assume Gordon is like, he's -2. Good gracious. That's why you don't just throw away a roll like that. Anyway. All right, so it's going to be Brad Lidge against John Bowker. I'm not worried about it at this point. That's why you don't roll those like that, because you never know what's going to come up. Bowker coming in here, pinch hitting. First and third, 2 outs. They're playing back, obviously. Looking for that final out, and it's a 3-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Picked up by Bruntlett. He throws to first in time, and the game is over. The Philadelphia Phillies sweep the San Francisco Giants, getting the final game by a final score of 5-2. Cole Hamels, the victor, pitches 7 strong innings, allows only 1 run in those innings, and the bullpen just about turns it over, but Lidge, Mr. Reliable here, comes in to get the save, and he won't be available. We're going to say he's not available in Arizona in the next game because he pitched 2 in a row, including a 4-out save in the previous one. So, But he only goes to one batter here, so I think that's plausible. The loss to Lincecum, he gave up 5 in the first, but was able to go 6 innings, even after not having his stuff. He only had the one single come up that was off of the dots, so that's good. But fun series. That is a lot more fun when your team, the team that you're sort of basing it on, comes up with some good results. But it shouldn't be about that. So now I come clean. Yeah, I guess. Oh, you're talking about Larry feasting on pizza and all that good stuff. Okay, so had some questions earlier. I'm going to see if I can dig them up. Kyle Schultz. It's Schutz, actually, not Schultz. How about that? I can actually read, and I know how to use pronunciation as my friend. In any regard, do we suggest start with basic or advanced? I would say start with basic. Schutz. No, I still messed it up. So, just shut your mouth. No. Anyway, I would suggest basic. Did I change my game brew? No, it's still the same old. I'm still crazy. I'm not any more crazy, but it's still the Diet Mountain Dew. But, I haven't turned into any more of a whack job now. So, here's the thing. Now, granted, watching these videos is probably going to, and some of Earl's and some of others, there are others that roll games. Baseball Demos is another one that I would check out if I were you. You're going to get a good feel for how you're supposed to, roll this out. I mean, you get the rules too, but I think basic is a nice way to start. I mean, that's what I did when I started. I just randomly, I tore apart the cards when I first got the game, and this was literally a year ago for me. So I haven't been doing this for like decades or anything. I've been doing this for a year. So, but I feel like in the last year I've played a season worth and change. But anyway, but there are so many more, and there are probably guys in this room that are much more equipped to give you advice than I am. But this is what I would say. And this is what I did. I got the cards and I broke them up and, used the rubber bands like you're not supposed to do because I was a newbie and, that's all I had. I still have them over here just hanging out. And I still wrap the pitcher's hitting cards in the rubber bands, just so you know. I just picked 2 random teams, and I don't even know where I got it from. I think it was Detroit. I know what the teams were. It was Detroit and Arizona, and I don't know why I picked those 2 teams. And I played a game and loved it. It was great, but it was basic. And somewhere I have these sheets. It's in one of the books. It's probably in my original binder that has the first TBL. It's probably in the back of that. But so I decided either the next day or the day after, I'm like, well, I want to see how well this game repeats itself or how poorly it does. And I think I got the same score, which kind of worried me. And I think I used... You know what? We got a little bit of time here. I'm by myself. Call me a loser. But let's see, what do we have here? See, now that's the first games that I played in the league. I'm holding on to this for posterity's sake, even though it's kind of pathetic to say that. It's someone's gonna have a fun time burning all this stuff. But anyhow, let's see. What do we have here? Are they in here? There's the champion. I don't have them in here. Where did I put those? Am I a fool? Did I throw it out? I couldn't have thrown that stuff out. Let's take a look. There's gotta be... I've got all sorts of junk in this room. This is like the collection of garbage. Alright. Is it in this one? It can't be in this one. No. Not in there. What's this? Nope, that's not it. Now here's some stuff. Maybe? Oh, that's the TBL version 2.0. Huh. That's a crying shame if I lost these things. I know I didn't lose them. They're just, I'm gonna have to dig them up. They're in a book somewhere. They're in a book somewhere, or in a box somewhere. But in any event, the third game I made some wholesale changes. So that was kind of where things, and I got a different score, which made me happy. And that was kind of where the beginnings of, and then I decided to look and see what whoa, that's another. You know what? I know. I bet you it's wherever my papers from the World Series that wasn't. Wherever they are is where this stuff is. And which was I rolled that with some cards. But so anyway, that Jerry Ball, Jerry, he's in here quite often. Jerry, he sent me a bunch of sort of random teams throughout. I think it was from a friend of his, which really touched me, and I appreciate that, Jerry. But anyway, that's what I would do. I would just pick a series and roll it first, or if you've already done that, then great. But it sounds like you probably haven't. Just go pick a series from this past year that if you watched baseball, you said to yourself, "Man, I think this is a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun to watch." And you could play it with the same lineups. You could change it up. Just have fun with it and see how you got to play the game. I went from doing that straight into advanced. 3 games, they were all basic, and then I said I want to do advanced. And actually, now the more I think about it, I kind of wonder if I did the 3rd game in advanced, and it was a little bit more intense. Super advanced is very intense when you first start it, and it is pretty. Especially when you're doing it with a camera in your face and you're, worrying that someone's going to say, "Oh, you did this wrong." But just we want to have fun with these things. I mean, eventually we want to get somewhat, mechanical about it. We want to get repeatable. We want to get, we want these things to mean something. We want to make choices that make sense. Sometimes we want to make choices that don't really make sense, because managers don't always make choices that make sense in real life. Sometimes, San Diego, I watched a video there last year, maybe in August or September, and I think the Padres maybe tried and were successful in getting, stealing home like 5 times or something in the early months of the season last year. So, there are opportunities to do things. What you need to start doing is to feel through these things and start saying to yourself, okay, why would I want to steal home? And I've done it a couple times in my league play, and I think part of it is you get a guy like Charlie Blackmon who, he's got that second steal rating. If you're playing advanced, and I was playing advanced at the time, he's AA. So, I think the roll was 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, and so you've got a 25% chance. So then if you get a guy who's, a 200 hitter, and there's 2 outs, maybe then you would say, okay, well, the defense is going to hold the guy on so he doesn't move as far away. Well, maybe they do, and then you probably can't do it. But I think a lot of times they wouldn't even expect anybody to do it, because they're just, until they did it once, they're not going to expect you to steal home. So, Blackmon, he tries to get that lead. If he gets it, go. And if they don't hold you on, a lot of times you automatically do get that lead. So, is it hard to make decisions for both teams? I wish I could. Let me catch up. I'm going to try to answer these in real time now, since I think there's. Yes. It's very hard. I constantly have this dilemma that I'm screwing somebody over. I feel like it's easier when I'm doing the other league where, I have a team or two that I'm not so fond of. So then I still have that worry. But for the most part, if I have two teams that I really have no vested interest in, and technically, as far as I'm concerned, in that league up there, I really have no vested interest. I really don't care. If the Yankees come out and are like, 40-24 and are friggin' awesome, 40-14, sorry, it's 54 games. If they're 40-14, great. I mean, that's pretty remarkable that they had that much of an improvement. So I want the results to matter. I want the results to mean something. I don't want to have results that are like ginned up. I'm not going to re-roll things because I didn't get the right roll. I mean, but you understand it. But it's difficult because and so if you look at if you go to Tenacious Strat on YouTube, there's a channel called Tenacious Strat. That was my original channel. I have some tutorials on there, and one of the things that I developed to try to make it easier is the defensive hold automatic roll. So when before I started the game, I would roll for each team based on the catcher's arm. And based on that would decide, so you roll a D20, and based on the range that you get, which range it's in, it decides whether the defense is going to be more aggressive or more conservative. So they might hold a runner on in some games, and they might not in other games. That's just kind of what I did. So that way, when I'm up at bat for a team and there's a guy on first, I just automatically say to myself, that guy is being held on, and then there's no qualms about it. It's tougher to do here. I tend to use the star for the super advanced cards as a guide. If you get Fred Lewis and he's got a star in front of his the supplementary steal rating, I'm figuring they're going to hold him on unless, like we saw here in the 9th inning, you've got a 3-run lead and you just need a couple outs. You're going to let him go. You're going to let him steal because you're just not going to hold him on. You want to plug up the holes. So it's difficult. I would challenge you to do your best to just think it through and make the decision that you feel is best for each team, what you feel like each team would do. I would say err on the side of holding a runner on. I mean, I don't know. But then you get one of those plus. So, that's the thing. In super advanced, like these pluses, where are they? So here's Valdez, and I got that little thing blocking it. But like 1-7 in super advanced, that's just a ground out unless the infield's in. In advanced, that is a single 2-star. So there's a lot more chances in advanced to have that come back to haunt you. So that's why I use that hold system, because I feel like it gives me license to just say, okay, they're not holding. They just decided themselves, the randomness decided they're not going to hold them on. And so that way, if I decide to steal on that, there's not much of a qualm saying, someone isn't going to say, oh, well, you decided this because you just wanted to be able to take the bag. And instead, no, just it's the way it came up. Kyle says, in most games, though, teams do hold runners on unless it's a huge lead. I've had a tough time reconciling that, because when I first started doing these videos, and this was like I said, I need to look and see what my my anniversary is for when I started the videos over on the other channel, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to hold everybody on. And then you just realize, then you start thinking about it more, and you say, automatic hold if it's an asterisk. I started thinking about, well, this isn't necessarily baseball exactly. And, how would a team do it if it really mattered a lot? I mean, I don't know. I still go back and forth on that, because you're going to see guys held on regardless. We have, with these cards, we have the benefit of knowing exactly how it went throughout the entire season. We can know what exactly these players are going to do. Managers, not necessarily. I mean, you know, they get scouting reports. They know a guy's slow. They know a guy's fast. They don't know that the other manager isn't going to say, you know, you aren't going at any point in this game because there's a lefty on the mound and he's got a great move and we just don't know you're going to be able to, you're going to get picked off if you take too far of a lead. Managers can say that, and the opposing manager has no way of knowing that that's the case. So, in that case, they would be, in theory, they would be foolish to hold the runner on because there's no chance of that runner going. But instead, but you see teams taking a lot of different diversion tactics and stuff. You know, they get the first baseman playing in front of them. You know, we'll kind of try to block the guy getting a view of the pitcher. You know, that he'll play behind him. He'll try to run behind him. You know, there's lots of things that they'll try to do. I guess what you have to start reconciling is this game meant to be exactly baseball, or there's you know, am I going to take away the strategic element that I can think through as I'm sitting there before each at bat and trying to ponder what the pitching team is going to do? You know, am I going to take that strategic element completely away? Hi, Manny. And I would say don't do that. I would say if it makes sense, hold them on. If you think, man, that's Ryan Howard, you know, he steals like when he sees a sandwich at second base, you know, then maybe you don't need to hold him on. Thought of a way to decide when you send runners. Take their attempted steals divided by walks and singles. Percentage of times they go. Just a thought. Yeah, I mean, that's a thought. I mean, that's why I like the supplementary stealing mechanism, is I feel like it builds in there a factor for how often or how, you know, it really splits it up. You know, it's much better in my mind than advanced, because the advanced stealing, it's okay, but you know, if you get an A guy on there, you're just gonna steal it. You're gonna probably try to steal every time, unless you've got, you know, like Yachty or Molina or Salvador Perez back there who just have like a gun for an arm. Then you're probably gonna think twice about it. But you know, in this game, it's like, even though you have an A guy get on base, it's probably best to try it almost every time, because sometimes you're going to get it, sometimes you aren't. And then sometimes you're going to get it and you're going to have a 1 to 18 and you're going to roll a 19 and you're going to bash your head on the table saying, why did I go? But you're going to have to go once you roll that. So that's the other thing about super advanced and the supplementary stealing is you get that lead and you're gone. You can't turn around. You're either dead to rights or you're in. So let's see. Earl, will you and Earl go head-to-head again? I would be very, very, very surprised if we didn't. I think it's going to happen here one of these days. I think we've just... You know, we each have projects, and when we did Battle of the Earls, which was awesome, and I think I think it'd hopefully be more popular now than it was back then, because I think we have a lot more people involved in the channel here. But not to toot our own horn or anything, but it was a lot of fun. But I think we got to the point where we did so many of them in a row that we, you know, felt like it was interrupting things that we were doing solo. I was getting towards the end of my first Tenacious League, and I had it planned out where I was doing 3 or 4 games a night. And that's the other nice thing about advanced, Kyle, is advanced you can get 3, 4. I mean, if you're, you know, if it's the type of thing that you're a I don't know if you're a school kid, if you're older, retired. I mean, you could be anywhere in that range. I have no clue. But if you're home for the summer, a school teacher, home for the summer, you could probably roll 6 or 7 games in a day, and that's without even trying too hard if you wanted to. If you really were diligent about it, if you weren't recording them. Like I was doing 4 or 5, and I'd record a couple of them. But I think you could really like streamline things. Whoa. Sure, Manny, no problem. I try to be helpful. But yeah, so that's the other thing about advanced is that you're just going to get things done a lot quicker. Yeah, that's young, but you're at an age that much more is probably expected of you than, I just think as someone who's, I think of my own kids that are home from school, and it's like, if they were into Stratomatic, they could probably do a season in about a week and a half, Everyone is young to Al, yeah! Would you like that served with some whipped cream? Ken, for the win. Anyway, Al, we love you, baby. Actually, I love the every once in a while I'll try to incorporate some actual, like, trying to get in the cadence. You've got the cadence, dude. The old time radio announcer, you got it. So not to say old and you, but I'm just saying, like, you've got her down. So if you haven't checked out his channel, Al Red Sox Fan, please do. The dude, I don't play many of the computer games just because I enjoy the rolling, but he definitely makes it worth your make it worth your while. Who are a game out? Oh, Cubs are in first. Oh. I see. Well, Cubs, they've played their cards right for sure. So I think you're going to have every team, and I going through this Phillies replay, I should just, I've somewhat learned a lesson here in this last stretch. Albeit wait until the Phillies have another 3 or 4 game losing streak, and we'll see how much I remember it. But, every team, especially a team like the Cubs that's coming off a championship, they're going to have a little bit of a hangover. The Indians are having a hangover. So, and the Indians, I think, probably did more to help bring their team forward in the offseason than the Cubs did. The Cubs lost their leadoff guy, and sure, they got Schwarber back, but Schwarber hasn't really performed much. So, and they've had a couple other guys get a little bit on the cold side to start the season. So, that's hi Tyler, welcome back. I think it's understandable that teams are going to go through funks, and some teams are going to, once you got that flavor of victory, it can be a little bit tough. They probably know, boy, they had times in 2016 where they didn't play so well, and they were able to figure out their way to get into the playoffs, and then they just got hot. So, but other times it's just plain old slumps. So, wait, who got Archer? Oh, do I see them getting Archer? And who is them? Is that the Indians or the Cubs? The Cubs. They've got the money to do it, I'm sure. So it's just a matter of getting the team that's and them being willing to part with the pieces that whatever team that's. If it's Archer from Tampa, maybe that's what it'll be. But they're probably, Tampa's definitely a team. But I think Tampa, isn't that the thing? Isn't Tampa trying to load up a little bit? Come on, Manny. Get this Yankees talk out of here, dude. I don't need any of this. I don't need to hear about the Yankees. I already heard about them too much to start this season. I guess they haven't lost 7 in a row recently, but Granderson, does he come with the wheelchair, or is he gonna, you know, or do the Yankees have to supply that? I mean, they have the money for it, but I just want to be sure that they don't, you know, get too much on the hook for, you know, the walker or whatever he needs to get around the bases. Yeah, there you go, Larry. There's a walker. So we're on the same path here. But anyway, so we're having fun here. I would just say that's exactly what this is supposed to be about. Tyler and Kyle. If you guys want to start something, it's great. Just hit a bomb for your Metsies. Yeah. Well, if they're going to get something for him, they'll just probably trade him. They should be trading everything that has less than a year on his contract, and maybe less than a year left in his career, you know. So fire sale, baby. That's what you got to do. And I'm not a Mets fan, but that's definitely what you got to do. You got to, you know, wait for Syndergaard and all these other guys to come back and just get what you can to reload a bit. With your conversation in game 2, maybe, do you remember original Peter Lecoq? Oh boy. What the heck? No, I don't remember that. Peter Lecoq, that's a big one right there. So anyway, big trade line deadline candidates. Well, if you've got the right price, you can have me. I mean, you know, I'm basically an 8th inning kind of come in and, you know, kind of a Strickland kind of guy. Just throw at your head and, you know, bark at the umps a little bit. So I mean, that's kind of my forte. You know, pinch run, make a hard slide into second, roll over some ankles, things like that. Sort of a catch-all kind of player, you know. They call me the lightning rod. Yeah, I have, Kyle. It takes a while to get used to it. It's a pretty good system. I got a little sick of it, but only because I'm an idiot. And now that I've seen what other things are like, Ball Score and Ball Stat are nice. It's free. Yeah, just if you learn the hotkeys, you'll put in a game in 10 minutes. I mean, it's literally that easy. But you've got to prep. You got to get your teams in there. You can find a lot of these kinds of things online, but you know, the files and the rosters and everything. But for Mac, that is a good question. I do not know if it's for Mac, but I don't know. Mac, you might be able to use iScore, or if you have like an iPad, you could use iScore. So, I mean, that's another potential. I mean, that's a pretty good program. I've used it on my phone, but Game Changer, there you go. Phil for the win. It's great to have so much experience around here that they can, I mean, I'm not a Mac guy, but, you know, you're bound to find someone around here that knows a thing or two about it. So, hopefully he gets you in the door. I mean, the tough part is that if you want some good, you know, if you want, the nice thing about Ball Score and Ball Stat is that it's free. You know, it has its warts. If you make a mistake, you have to like undo to fix it. So if you figure out that, oh, I forgot to sub in a pinch runner because a guy got injured in like the 3rd inning and it's the 8th, and you just now realized it, you basically have to undo it all the way back to the 3rd and then redo everything because it doesn't compile it right. But Stratomatic PC is the same way. So I thought maybe that one would be a little easier, but you can do manual entry with that. If you happen to buy Stratomatic PC and, you know, the package where you get the cards too, you might want to use that, because that gives you the rosters too. So you got that all in there. You could do as played. It will have the rosters every game ready for you, so you don't really have to do any of that. It's a little slower for me, just in that the hotkeys aren't quite as quick. You know, you have to do enter, and then you have to choose the first letter of the action, whether it's, you know, and so if it's a strikeout, I got to hit S 3 times to get the strikeout. If it's a ground out, I think I just hit G once, but then I got to tab it twice and to get down to the first fielder to put in the 6 for the shortstop, and then tab another time for 3, and then hit enter, and it will go in. So you've got those things. But the score of the game that you missed, the Phillies won. So all is right in the world. Yeah, I actually said it. I should go watch a baseball game right now. I could fire up MLB TV and watch something here. But so anyway, but yeah, I would recommend, if you have a PC at your avail and you don't want to invest in something, Ball Score and Ball Stat's the way to go. If you don't mind, I don't know about Game Changer if it's free. Oh, the project. Yeah, Tyler, thanks for mentioning. So it's a few games in. So I'm doing a 54-game season. That's probably what I'm going to turn to. It's in game day, I think, 9 for, I think the Mets and the Tigers have already played a game for game day 9. So I have 4 more games to do. So it's a 10-team league. I chose the teams randomly, and I'm using Super Advanced. I choose the lineups. I'm trying to follow player usage as best I can, as far as like the 25 mans for each team. So I'm going to try and do the progression, incorporate trades, incorporate call-ups. We've got injuries going. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's using a little bit of license here because not everything's going to be perfect. I had a couple games that I messed up some usage, but I'm not going back. So that's the way it goes. But if someone ever catches me missing one, like using a guy that was acquired after the deadline in the first 2 weeks, then please let me know. I kind of already know I did that a couple times, and I punched myself in the face 3 or 4 times. You can see here I still have like the bruise left. Can you jump on the soapbox, please? Wait. Was it Mike? Mike, did you do that last night? Maybe you did. Is that the soapbox going in our mouths here? Trying to wash them out with soap. No, but so that's what it is. But this time I'm doing pitchers hitting. The first league I did DH for everything. This time, so we've got, you know, AL teams having their pitchers hit all the time, and so it can be a little interesting. You got guys like Pujols that are going to be playing some. I've already used A-Rod at third base. That got some sort of, you know, derisive looks and jeers from the crowd. And I don't think A-Rod even had an error in that game. And he might not. What are the teams? See if I can get this right, because it's been a couple weeks. They are the Orioles, the Tigers, what a loser, Earl. You failed. All right. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Baltimore, Detroit, Los Angeles Angels, Miami Marlins, New York Yankees, New York Mets, Oakland Athletics, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Toronto Blue Jays. So a healthy dose of AL, which is weird because I decided to do pitchers hitting. So But that's what it is. Go Bucks. Now, there you go. They did pretty well so far this season, so we'll see. But like I said, we're only like 2 and so a ninth of the way in, really. Third series. We're in the last game of the third series. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm an hour and a half into this with Marte out. Oh, this year, yes, definitely. He's not out in the league, which some of the people who are around here, some of the people here will remember a game. I was playing Pittsburgh against the Yankees, and some random Yankee fan came in here and was berating me. He called me a freaking cheater for using Marte in this league. And, you know, I was a fraud or something. I forget the word he used, but no need to use the thumbs. So Utah Mike says there's no need to use the thumbs down button as personally as it should be on here. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I've said my piece about the thumbs down thing before. You know, just, you know, I have very slowly learned just not to take it personally. Someone's got a vendetta against the channel, maybe even against me, because they seem to promulgate on my videos. But here's the deal. This was Tabletop Earl's channel. I'm on here. He may have a subscriber that's not a fan of mine, and I'm all right with that. I mean, I'd love to win him over, but in trying to win him over, I may alienate, or him or her over, I might alienate everybody else. So, you know, I just don't know. I mean, I have nothing against anybody. I feel like, you know, we've, you know, tried to make a community here that, you know, encourages others. I mean, you know, it's not easy. We've had some channels get up and running, and, you know, it's not easy to keep those running all the time. People have life get in the way. And it can be a grind sometimes, but, you know, I really hope that we've encouraged others in whatever they're trying to do. You know, whether it's any of the games, whether it's PC, I mean, we really harbor nothing. And I thought it was pretty neat for Earl to start doing this MLB The Show stuff, and maybe even try to bridge into a little bit of the electronic. Because, I mean, see, last point before I sign off here, I guess. I am you know, I love the PC games, and I love, you know, playing whether Xbox or whatever, but what I always found is, like, I just sucked at all the up, left, down, left, or up, down, left, right, whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. What I really liked doing was when Madden started every time having, like, the franchise mode and being able to, like, build franchises. There's a game called Football Manager that's for soccer. That's an awesome game. If you are into soccer and tactics, that sucker goes down to, like, 9 or 10 divisions down in England, and it's got all sorts of leagues around the world. So that'll be a little pitch for that. But that, you know, I'm much more into the strategic elements. If I pick other types of games, it's going to be like Civilization. You know, I'll do a little bit of shoot 'em up, but mostly it's going to be like strategy type games. So that's what interests me. If I'm reading a book, it's a mystery, maybe suspense. You know, I'm just not much into action, and I'm just not that coordinated. So I'm not so much into playing, you know. I mean, I used to do it when I was a kid, that kind of stuff. I used to be all right, but, you know, I would never match up against any of the better players who could just get to play all the time. So, you know, I would get to the point, I'd be the kind of guy who would win a bunch of seasons in Madden, and then I'd kick up to the next level, and I would get curb stomped for a few games, and then I just decide, you know what, I'm going to go back to the other rating and see if I can build a team. Or lower settings. So anyway, thumbs down. If you're going to do it, do it. We'll still make videos. We'll still tick you off. So you might as well just get your kicks and flick it, and you know, I'll know that I helped you out because you were able to do it. You know, I enabled you. I made your day because you're able. So in theory, I'm helping you by putting these videos out to make, you know, you are in turn making my day because I've helped you. So that's really it. So if you really want to upset me, just don't click that down thumb, because then if I see none, that means that you quit watching and I'm going to be unhappy. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, everybody. All the channels that are out here, if you know, try to do your best to pay, you know, patronize them. Patronize. I don't know which. There's one that means treat them like crap, and there's another that means go and that's the one I mean. Go and help them out. Watch their videos, support them, make them feel welcome, and I'll try to do the same. And strat on, everybody. No, trust me, I've had days where I've not been that nice about this. So I've had a lot of let's say there's there's no therapist yet, but there might be. Thanks a lot, everybody. Strat on, and have a great night. And I got to close this out. There you go.